All right, so this one's titled Ad Copywriting Workshop. It also applies to content, so I just put it as ads, but an ad is really just a post that you put money behind and you drive it to somewhere, right? That could be a lead magnet, it could be to your offer. So even though it's this ad copywriting, you could just replace it and say content copywriting, okay? So what we're going to go over today, this is going to be a workshop, like I said, is we'll go over the frameworks. There's one framework we're going to cover today, and it's my favorite framework. You guys probably all already know it, but I'm just going to dive a little deeper into it. I'm going to pull up some of my ads and pull up even some of the ads that are in the curriculum and kind of like walk through them live with you guys to kind of show you why they work, how they work. And we're going to pull from some of the stuff we talked about yesterday with branding in our talk. From this too, okay? And mechanism. All that whole talk is going to be really leveraged into what we're writing. Cool? Cool. All right, you guys ready? Okay, so it's not hard. I put hard, but it's not necessarily hard. It's a different skill to sell somebody who's in your network than it is to sell a cold traffic like stranger, right? How do you build, trust, right? So like if someone sees an ad or a post from you, they're going to ask themselves like, who are you and why should I trust you? Why should I listen to you? And on top of that, the average person sees around 10,000 ads a day. Like just think about like when you go and just drive down the street, or down the highway, there's billboards, ads. Newspapers, ads, even like the shirts that we wear are like Nike. That's a logo, but it's also kind of an ad for more people to buy that shirt, right? We see so many ads that we don't even realize that they're ads. So if you guys look on your phone too, for every like 3 to 4 posts on Instagram, I think same thing, frequency for Facebook is you'll see an ad, right? It's just like the 3-to-1 ratio. It probably is similar with stories too, but it's there's a lot, right? So the question becomes, how do I stand out, right? How do I stand out to grab their attention while also gaining their trust? Because we don't just want to stand out just to stand out and get eyeballs. That's like clickbait, right? So how do we grab that attention from a place that I can build trust? So that's what we'll cover today. The answer to that is by writing great copy, okay? So great copy does these things. Captures attention, connects on an emotional level, it builds trust, and really builds trust by positioning you as the authority and somebody who's gone through that experience, right? Or has some sort of connection to that experience that they're feeling. And good copy, great copy, most importantly, provides hope. Okay, it provides hope for a solution to a problem they've been experiencing for a long time, because that's what we need to make a decision. We need hope that the next thing that we try actually is going to work for us, because we've tried all these other things. So great copy provides hope. Okay? Hope for a new solution to a problem we've been struggling with. Hope for a better life. Better life could be more time, better health, more money, less stress, right? Great copy does all these 4 things, okay? So these are like the big pillars. Now, before we jump into how to write it, we have to talk about who we're writing copy to or for, okay? To do this, I had to make this chart. I had to figure out how to do this, but these are the 5 stages of awareness when it comes to writing copy, okay? Right here, we've got like the people who are most aware of you. They know you exist. Not that many people do this. This is like your warm network. It's why the easiest to sell to them, because you can put an offer up and they're going to be people who are going to click it or be like, oh, I'm interested. You got people who are product aware. And we'll go over as this applies to coaching in a second. We've got people who are solution aware. We've got people who are problem aware. And then we've got people who are totally unaware. Okay, how this applies to you guys for just like, I use weight loss for a lot of my examples. It's just very tangible, right? So unaware means we're just going to go from the top down. Unaware is like they don't know that they're overweight. Okay? This middle one, who is problem aware, is like, man, I'm overweight. I'm 20 pounds heavier than I like to be. Okay? The solution, I think I said solution aware, right? Yeah, solution aware would be personal training. Oh, I know personal training, I could hire a coach, right? I could hire a coach who can help me. And then product aware would be like a subsect of that, right? I can find an online coach so I don't have to go to the gym. So I can do it from the comfort of my home, right? And then the bottom being aware of you and your program, right? Now, most people advertise to these two zones. Hey, I'm looking for 5 people who want online coaching, who do all this stuff, right? But the problem is that we're missing a huge subset of the market, right? So people who are aware of your program here also understand there's online coaching, also understand that just coaching or personal training in general, and also fit into this bucket of I'm overweight. So the real secret to scaling marketing, or even like I say marketing because this applies to ad copy and also content copy, is talking to people who are problem aware. That's why, like, like the first thing in the Growth Accelerator is what's the problem you're solving, right? Because this allows us to capture everybody in here, and then when we're writing copy and when we have an offer, we want to have an offer that's actually set up to scale, right? And that's solving a problem. If you're trying to like get people who are unaware, you have to educate them to make them problem aware. That's a totally different marketing strategy. You can do that, but that requires a lot of time, right? But people who are problem aware can be easier moved down the line than those who are unaware, okay? So the key to good copywriting is writing to problem aware people, not here. You can do like retargeting ads, right? And you can have like a percentage, maybe like 10%, 20% of your budget that could be running ads to these people, but most of it needs to be here because this is going to be way bigger, way cheaper leads, way cheaper cost per call, all those things. Better engagement on your content, etc. So like I said, this allows you to scale ads to new people at a much lower cost. It also helps you build an audience, okay? So this is why we love the free training ads, okay? If you guys are part of the accelerator, that's what we talk about, like the VSL, free training. We can move people who are problem aware all the way to knowing who you are and your offer. So we can educate people in a short video. I'm overweight. I've got a solution for you. Did you know there's this thing, right? And you kind of keep working in the VSL, and at the end of it, I've got a solution for you. I can help you. And it kind of works its way all the way down.
And that's how the mechanism started. The mechanism helps build them down.
Exactly. The mechanism should be here, the central part. Right. So like I said this kind of earlier, it's like the more direct pitches, offers of like I'm looking for 5 people who want this are really only going to touch those bottom people. And what happens with that, like I said over here, it's a lot cheaper to scale the problem aware people because it's a bigger market. And if you're doing the like direct, I'm looking for 5 people who want blank, blank, and blank, it gets really expensive and you have to make new ads on like a much more regular basis. You got to make ads like honestly with that approach. Like we launched ours that were like the direct, even if they're the Twitter style ones, Twitter style and the video ones, and they did well for 2 weeks and then they started to plummet. Versus like some of the like free training ads we've had up since November and they're still getting us good leads. So my encouragement is if you guys are doing the direct looking for 5, still a great strategy, but you're going to have to make a lot more creatives on a regular basis so that you don't fatigue out because your audience size is way smaller than this one. Right? Does that all make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So now let's talk about how we do those 4 pillars of capturing attention, connecting emotionally, building trust, and then providing hope. So this is my favorite copywriting framework, and you guys probably have all seen this multiple places. Hook, story or value, offer. It's one of the oldest ones. It's one of the simplest ones, and it just works. Okay, you don't have to get fancy with it. This works really well. Now we're going to break each of these out, why they work, and kind of connect them to these four pillars here. Okay, so part one of the hook is scroll stopping hooks. This calls out your ideal client, right, with a strong statement, social proof, statistic, or a question. This should be focused on the people who are problem aware, right? Problem aware. So if it is around weight loss, it should be calling something out for those people who are problem aware. We're not going to the unaware. We're not going to people we're not mentioning the word online coaching. We're not mentioning coach. We don't mention any of those words because they already have a preconceived notion of what a coach does. So we're going to speak directly to their problems and capture those problems with our hook. Okay? Also important for this, more for ads, like for general like content, you can be a little bit broader. It doesn't have to like call out your avatar specifically. But the moment you guys start running ads, you do want to capture the attention of only the people that you want to work with. Because no one likes, oh, I got a ton of leads, but they all are not qualified. They're all not my ideal client. Again, for content, that's okay because you kind of like want a bigger reach and a percentage of those will kind of, get into the funnel. But for ads, you don't want that because then you're going to train the Pixel Ads Manager platform to look for those people. Okay, so in the scroll, we want to capture the attention of people who are problem aware and only our ideal clients. Should be your niche. And a lot of that is by having a call out, right? Plus, are you tired of blank, right? I'm going to give you a few different examples of hooks you can use, but this could be, busy moms, are you tired of feeling this way? Busy moms, do you feel like there's just not enough time in the day to take care of yourself? They'll be like, yeah, I do, right? That's the problem. Then the story or value is going to educate or provide your experience of being a busy mom too and what it was like for you, right? Another way you can do this, it doesn't always have to be a call out. I'm just going to give you guys some examples for them. But another one could be like, I went from a burnout physical therapist to blank in X time period to a successful online coach. Or I went from a burnout physical therapist to making lots of, what would be a good ending for that for you? Home health.
Went from a burnt out physical therapist seeing 20 plus patients a day to making over $100,000 in 1 year.
Boom. Great, right? You should be a little careful with the money claims, but like great hook, right? So sometimes too, when I write these hooks, which I think you can do with content, doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want with content. But a lot of times when I write my hooks, I'll make them as explicit and direct as possible, and then I'll just make them all PG. I'm like, no, I'm going to make that more PG. Okay, just kind of like work your way down. Same thing for you guys if you're doing any like weight loss or really any like claim within a time period. You can make them more PG, but just write it as explicit as you want to start and then be like, okay, how can I make this like get past, right? PG.
What is PG?
PG, just like parental guidance, so like in movies, like PG-13, R. Okay, so like
more mellow. So instead of saying $100,000, it would be more money.
Okay. Yeah, or like kind of like so like that, or like 6 figures versus like a certain explicit amount. Because you can't, like with ads, you can't make these huge claims like you're going to make all this money online without doing any work. Like they'll be like, this is a scam. Or like, just take this weight loss pill and you're going to lose 20 pounds of fat tomorrow. Like that's what it's looking for, but we can trigger it when we make claims like that, right?
Yeah. Could you make a claim about something you accomplished for yourself? Like, this is how I made 100K, and here's how I can show you how I did it.
Yeah. That's definitely more like a hack. Like you can kind of talk about you, or you can talk about a case study of a student. Here's how Ben went from here to here, but you shouldn't say here's how you can do it, right? I don't want to get too much into details of that. Like those are good questions, but you can kind of do it that way, but still, even then, you still have to be careful. Like I probably still wouldn't put dollar signs and stuff like that because it's just gonna see it. Another example is like doing a call out and just be like, stop doing this, right? So it could be like, ladies, stop counting your calories if you're trying to lose weight, right? Like, wait, I thought I was supposed to do that, right? But you could see the call out. I called out ladies. I probably would target ladies within a certain age demographic, so that could work. Or CrossFitters, stop doing blank, right? I forgot what was Sophia's ad call out?
CrossFitters, do you work out every day and you don't look like you work out?
It's really good, right? So it's like, it's clear on who it's for. The only people who should click that or listen are going to be that demographic and problem. Got it? Another one, if you want this, watch this video. Or if you want this, read this, right? Watch this video, typically if you're using like a video ad, because then in the video ad, you would just do the same thing as like hook, story, call to action, right? And then another example could be using a statistic. The statistic can, like I showed you guys that pie chart of people who are problem unaware, the statistic can actually help you tap into that market because you can help people become problem aware. But so that can work really well, but it still will help you call out the people in the problem area too, right? Did you know that 85% of new moms experience blank and it prevents them from blank? So like, who's going to see it? New moms, and it's going to be something that they're currently experiencing. That's a problem. Yeah.
With the statistics claims, would they flag you if you don't provide like a research paper, let's say?
I think if you change it, I don't think so. I've never had that issue. Because I'll be like, here's the reason why 90% of coaches don't make this online. Like I've done that one before. Sometimes it gets flagged, sometimes it doesn't. But I'll say something like that. Or you could even say, probably even safer is, here's why up to this percentage struggle with this, right? But yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. But if it is, just put up to. Okay, so that's the hook. Calling out the problem, because that allows us to be part of that bigger pie. Okay? Part 2 is story or value. If you guys have an origin story that connects with your ideal client, this is where you use it, right? This is also what attaches over here to your personal branding. Is like, if you were a burnout physical therapist and you wanted to start your own home health or get into home health, then you talk about your experience of feeling burnout, of doing all the things and tying the emotion into it so that they can connect with you. Because why else would someone listen to you? It's like, well, I'm going to listen to you because you've been in my shoes and you overcame the thing, right? That builds credibility, authority, relatability, right? I already said, kind of said that. So it's like, this is why it allows you to connect emotionally and build the trust and answer the question of, why should I listen to you? Why you? What's in it for me, right? Yeah, so like here's just kind of an example. I too, so like, hey, 90% of women struggle with blank. I too used to struggle with blank too. I tried fasting. I tried diet pills. Probably might want to be careful with diet pills, just that word, but I'm just giving an example, right? I tried diet pills. I tried something else, and it didn't work for me either. And I was right about to quit. I found blank. Right there, your unique mechanism. Right? I found this new strategy. The new strategy is what provides hope, right? And in that story, you're going to talk about how you felt when you tried all these things. I tried blank. I tried blank. I tried blank. I felt so frustrated, right? I thought I had to quit. Like, what were the thoughts that came in your head? Like for me, in my VSLs and in some of the ads that I'll write, I'll be like, man, I had this thought of, should I just go get a normal job? Should I just go back and get a regular job? Like I did that line on purpose because I know there's some people that are like, man, I think I might just go back to corporate, right? But people invest off emotion, so connect to them here. Share how you felt. If you had a weight loss journey or you had a health scare, that can be really valuable, and it's part of your brand, so talk about it, right? Talk about it as how it relates to your ideal client. Now, if you don't have an origin story, I was thinking more for like PT clinics, even like brick and mortars. This is where you can have the value element to this, right? Because you may have, I mean, if you do have like a history of low back pain and you have an ad or some piece of content around that, leverage that. But if you're advertising shoulders or something for your shoulder and you've never had any shoulder issues, it's going to be hard for you to make an origin story. You could use a client story, but what often I find that works really well is you can educate them on why they have that problem, okay? And why they should listen to you. So instead of like your origin story, you kind of like position yourself as the authority. And for a big part of that, like, let's see if I have an example. Yeah, you can use more stats, right? So it could be, did you know that 93% of new moms experience blank? It's actually because blank, 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 blank. And like you kind of educate on the problem. You're not educating on the solution, but you're making them more problem aware by teaching them why people have that problem, right? So you're giving value, not of how to solve the problem, but you're giving value on why they have the problem in the first place. Does it make sense?
It feels like you become the doctor that speaks to people with cancer but never had cancer, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might be able to relate like, hey, you know, my mom had cancer too. Like that's still an origin story, right? But you might want to test, you know, 93% of people who have cancer also have these symptoms, blank, 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 blank. And because of this, they're unable to, you know, like they're unable to work out. They're unable to spend time with their kids. And there's a solution to this, right? And that's where we kind of get into the next section is where we start to provide hope, right? So like this is where we introduce the new solution, the new mechanism, or your 3 to 5 step process, or whatever it is that your mechanism is, right? That provides hope. If you feel like this, like I did, there's something that you can try. There's something new that you haven't tried before that's better than everything else. And I put it together in a free training, right? All you need to do to learn that new mechanism is click the link below, watch the short training so that you can experience the same freedom that I experienced too. Or if it's more of the value one, it's like, you know, here's all the reasons why you have this problem. You know, it doesn't have to be that way. I've helped X number of people who had that same problem, like same, you know, knee pain, probably be careful with the word pain in ads, but who also struggled with that, get back to doing tennis, golf, whatever the things they like to do. So if you're tired of feeling this way and you want to get back to XYZ, click the link below and watch the short training. So instead of like the wrap up there, the transition, you kind of transition as I'm the expert for if you go down the value piece. Does that make sense? And you could still do the same like expert piece of like, you know, I found the solution, it helped me. I've also given it to 300 other dudes and they also are all jacked and tan now. So if you want to learn how to be jacked and tan, I put together a training on the process. Just click the link below. Someone had a hand up. Someone? No?
I want that training.
Just want that training? Yeah, I want to be jacked and tan.
Yeah, it just made me think about like my origin story, and you mentioned like with PTs, if it's shoulder and you're growing lower back, like that's obviously not the same. You're saying like that really wouldn't work. Like, you know, like I'm working with a lot of weight loss clients, and it's not that like I needed to lose weight. It was more of like fitness was kind of an emotional way for me to take care of myself, which isn't the same as weight loss necessarily, but they're linked. So like how close does your origin story need to like?
As long as it attaches to the feelings, okay, that matters the most. So you could be like, I used to like, so I would probably be like, I used to struggle with my body image too, right? There were days where I'd wake up and just didn't feel like myself. I'd look in the mirror and be like, dude, that's not me. But you can still attach to that without saying, I too struggle with weight loss, right? Because that's not necessarily true to you. Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
It's making me think.
Yeah, think about it. Yeah, and then like,
Could it be, for example, like let's say my mom struggled with 20-pound overweight, and I discovered that I could eventually help her. And one day it clicked. I helped her, and she lost her 20.
Yeah.
And since that, I want to help people.
100%. As long as you share one, like the emotional journey that their mom went on, and then how you felt about seeing your mom in that state. You're like, I didn't feel connected to her. Because whenever you share your emotions, that allows you to connect emotionally and builds that trust. So you still want to kind of be emotionally invested into it. So if you do use it, just share how you felt with it too.
Okay. Not how she felt. Oh.
Both. I mean, definitely how she felt, but then how you felt too kind of connects to why it's important to you that you solved it.
Yeah. I see.
This stuff's cool, y'all. Okay, so then it's like, delivering a free training. I put together this thing. Just click the link below if you want to learn how to do this thing, right? In the training, and you then you could probably just leave it at that, but you could also add the context. In the training, you're going to learn how to determine the right type of nutrition plan for you. You're going to learn what exercises are good, which ones are bad. You kind of can sell it with 3 points of what's going to be inside of it and why they should watch it. It's kind of a bonus. You don't need to do that. You could just be just click link below. But sometimes if you want to sell, you just sell the shit out of the free training of why they should watch it so much, right? Inside here, here's all the things you're going to learn. It's an incredible training. Go check it out, right? And then to get access to the training, just tell them exactly what you do. Click link below and put your information in on the next page, or just click link below, or DM me this word, right? Whatever the thing is, just be super clear what it is. So those are the stages, right? You've got the hook, the story or value, and then the offer. The same thing that you deliver, this can be in a video. This could also be just a photo of you, either looking super strong, being I feel so good. It's I used to not feel this way, right? And then you have all the vulnerability copy there. But if you're going to do a video, you would have the video, have the thing, and then the copy would be essentially the same copy as in the captions of the post or the ad. Would just be the same thing, right? The same thing. Some people are going to read it. Some people are going to watch the video. But just have them. You can kind of have them be the same if it's a video. If it's a post, like a photo ad or a carousel ad, you probably might have you can't do before and afters, so you might probably just do a post. But it's either going to be a post of you when you were in pain and struggling, or it's going to be a post that you're super happy, crushing it, living life, all that. Make sense?
You can do the carousel before and afters, if they're not. If you don't say they're related, I did it, but
you just gotta be careful with it.
It's terrible, so I don't know if it's a good idea.
Yeah, you can have essentially what we say before and after photos. So if you have a before and after photo, or that's the ad itself, or it's even if they pop up in the video themselves. So here's how this person went from here, and they're side by side comparisons. Meta doesn't like that because it puts this is a bad personal attribute to be fat, and this is the good one. It's good and bad, and it doesn't like that, right? So you just have to be careful with it. That's why before you guys publish ads, send them to your coach. We'll review them. We'll do the best we can. Sometimes you'll still get rejected, or it's not going to hurt you. But if you get 100 rejected ads, then you'll get your account disabled. But just write your copy, send it to your coach, so we can say, this looks good. Let's see if we can make it more vanilla / PG to get it approved. Okay, recap. Hook captures attention, right? Makes people who are problem aware. And if you've got a specific ideal client, it could be new moms, it could be ladies, if you want to. It's kind of more broad, right? But you're calling out those people. Story value, connects emotionally, and builds trust and answers why I should listen to you. Either because you've gone through it, or you're a subject matter expert and you've worked with hundreds of people with knee pain, and you're going to tell them why most people have knee pain, right? It could be most people have knee pain because of blah, 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 blah. It could be whatever. But it doesn't really matter what the value is, to be honest, as long as you educate them that they have a problem and your solution to the problem is in the training. Or it could be, we're giving discounted assessments this week only to help you find out why you have this thing, right? Or give you the solution to getting over this thing. And then again, the offer provides them hope for the new solution, the new mechanism, right? Bonus tips in here. If you add some social proof as you do that transition, so it didn't just help me, it's also helped this number of people. I have gotten some ads approved when it's it hasn't just worked with me, it's also helped with 1,000 men who've collectively lost a total of 17,000 pounds. That somehow gets passed, but you losing 10 pounds, 20 pounds doesn't. But you can talk about the total transformations that you've had even like for us, we can say, we've helped our clients generate 2.3 million or whatever the number is dollars, because that's social proof that we've been able to help a lot of people do it, versus like, we can help you to generate this amount of money, Other tips to make this better is like average outcomes. It's like the average person that implements this 5-step process in the last 3 years of working with all these people have had this specific outcome, right? Again, that'll kind of get you over here's how you do it. Here's the averages results that when people implement this, what they get.
Okay, so that's okay.
Yeah, it is. Just be careful. Just send it to us but generally it's okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, the averages are, yeah. And as long as you can back up any of your marketing claims, you're okay. Most of us don't have to worry about it, but once you get into like the 7-ish figure range, like the FTC could be knocking on your door and be like, show me the proof of all of your claims. And they'll make you refund all your clients, like all your clients you ever had, and you just lose all your money. So just make sure your claims are real. Don't make fake claims up. And then another one that's not as strong, but you could be like, years of experience. I've been working with people with knee pain for the past 7 years. You could put that, but it's not going to be as strong as like the number of people you've worked with, the average outcomes. You could even potentially. I probably wouldn't put like your Google rating or anything like that in there. It's not strong. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to review some of the ads that I've written, and we can kind of like walk through them. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the offer for? I'm not sure to understand. So I know it's great, free training for them, but what is for us? Is it like the email list? Is it like something else?
Yeah. So it would be like to a video sales letter / I kind of use them interchangeably, a video sales letter and a free training. And inside the curriculum, you'll see, but it's typically like it's a video that walks through, hey, do you have this problem? It ties back into your origin story again to connect with them deeper. And it gives them the 3 steps to solving the problem, but it doesn't tell them how to do it, right? So it's like step 1, you need this. You need a personalized assessment so that we can find the root cause of what's going on. And once you find that root cause, this is what's going to happen. So you're educating them on the importance of getting an assessment, right? That could be your first step. And by working with you, you can provide that assessment. So you kind of like walk through, here's how to go from point A to point B. But you don't tell them how to do it. And then at the end of the video is a really strong call to action to, if you like what you saw today and you want help implementing this, here's my offer. If you have a guarantee, here's our guarantee. Here's what the results you should expect. Let me tell you some of our most successful clients. And you kind of just like walk through case studies, and then you have another call to action again to book a call. So the whole goal of this is to have someone watch the video and be so convinced from the video that they want to book a call with you, because they're like, dude, this guy knows his stuff. He's got experience. I can connect to him. He's authentic and he knows his shit, So that's where it's driving to.
Having a lead transformed to a hot lead almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
When he's on the sales call, he's kind of almost ready.
Right. And that's why we're marketing to people who are problem aware, right? And like looking for a solution versus like the unaware. If you start marketing to those, they might not book a call. They might just want the free thing, right? But we try to make the free training as it's going to be value packed, but it needs to still be short and direct enough to be like, okay, I want help with this, right? Yeah, and it could be a lead magnet too. It doesn't have to be a free training. I just like them better because they can go through it really fast. But some people even do this for like a paid thing. It could be like a low ticket, like, $10, $20, $30 program or something that gets them to turn them, like to do a wallet check, right? That one's a little bit harder to crack. Like you got to be really good with like copywriting and stuff like that. So I typically have most people start with a free training because it's free, right? And you can get a lot more leads. But over time, like at scale, if you could sell a 7 or 27 or 47 or even $97 front end offer, that will make your ads free because people will just buy it like the first day. But you got to be really good with copywriting, funnels, targeting. So it's not a beginner strategy, but at scale, it's very, very powerful.
I suppose it's good to have a big email list also.
Yeah. Yeah.
use as a leverage later on new program or whatever you can do, right?
Yeah, and then all the people that we have opt-in, we text as well. So we'll text and email. We've even called some, depending on how they've what they filled out. If they watch the full thing, inside Go High Level, you can add tags for the amount of percentage of the video that someone's watched. So if someone's watched 100% of the video, I got my team. I'm like, Jared, we call them. They're clearly interested. They watched the full thing. We're not doing that currently, but we did do that at one point.
We do it the other way.
What's that?
So I watched for 30 seconds.
What's that?
It's more important for us if they did watch the video, because then they're not coming to the call as educated as they could be.
Yeah, we do. Oh, yeah. So on Go High Level, we can see how long people spend on specific pages. So when someone books a call, if they book a call within 1 to 2 minutes of opting in, they're just funnel hacking us. They want to see the thank you page. They want to see all the stuff. So then when I see that, I'll notify Jared or Simon and be like, these people just opted in and booked a call. Looks a little fishy. Reach out and you might want to cancel that call. Or we just encourage, hey, I saw you booked real quick. Make sure to watch this training before our call. Depends on our call volume. Because we don't want someone to show up to that call who hasn't watched the video, because then we're gonna have to do a second call, at least a second call, if not a third call with them, because they're just looking for, I don't know what they're looking for, but they haven't been indoctrinated on our story, our process. Because when someone watches this 3 to 5 step thing, like Jared was saying earlier, they're like the hottest leads because they know how we work with people. They've already seen a mini sales pitch. So then they get on the call and we just do the same thing again. More of the same, more of the same, right? All right, so what we're gonna do next is I want to go over some different copy, just give you guys examples of them. And then I'd love if we spend some time just practicing this, okay? Now, when we do practice it, so you can kind of start thinking of your idea as we go through the examples. I have different origin stories for the different people that I talk to. So this kind of comes back over here to the branding. I have a different origin story for physical therapists. That's the one I'm going to share with you today. But if I'm going to be invited to talk in front of a bunch of nutrition coaches, well, I'm going to make sure in my origin story to talk about something that has to do with nutrition, right? I don't have anyone for Olympic lifting or a dog, but I can use these things for my personal brand to attach and have different origin stories to connect with different people. And that also allows for scale, right? Because I have different origin stories. But you need that to start. We can just work on one, but if you have I had this struggle with weight loss, I had this struggle with pain, I had all these things, we're just going to practice, but know that you don't have to have one single story to use. The more stories you have, the better, right? Because you can connect with more people. Okay, I'm gonna just again, the example for this one's gonna be more business stuff, but I'll also pull up some of the other ones that are more health and fitness related. But this one's got the hook I shared with you earlier. Call out, are you tired of, right? Call out, or it could also be changed with, are you struggling with, right? Call out, whatever. This is my physical therapy one. So this one's probably been on the longest. So recently it's been more successful. It goes up and down. But right now this is still on and it's doing pretty well. Last month, I think this was our best performing ad. So physical therapist, are you tired of working with patients one-on-one in a clinic and want more freedom in your life, right? So the problem is they don't feel like they have a lot of freedom. They're working one-on-one. They want to get out of the clinic. I then introduce myself. That's pretty much hook. Now I'm going into story, right off the bat. My name is Dr. Matt. I'm a physical therapist who now works 100% online. When I graduated PT school, I wanted to start my own cash-based practice. This is the old solution, right? So this is the old mechanism of making money and getting more freedom is doing cash pay physical therapy, right? So I started working at one to learn the model. I quickly realized it was not what it was going to be. I was all the problems of the old model, right? So this could also be if I'm using it as an example of dieting, it could be are you tired of feeling this way? When I first felt this way, I thought intermittent fasting was the solution. So I tried it. Here's all the problems that happened when I tried intermittent fasting, right? I quickly realized I was constantly looking for more patients. No matter what I did, it never seemed like I could get a consistent caseload to have a consistent income. And to make matters worse, I never had time to travel. Again, there's another outcome that they want to have, right? I needed to be in the clinic to get paid, and I also needed to do local marketing to get more clients. Here comes the emotion, right? So I felt stuck, right? And locked in my city, making it really tough for me to travel without sacrificing my pay. And then here's the kind of transition. In 2020, I decided I was done, and I left the clinic setting. That year, I focused 100% of my energy on creating an online coaching business, introducing kind of the new solution. It's not like a mechanism, but it's the old model, new model, right? And I loved it. You can kind of see his little personality here. It's all caps, right? I was able to make 6 figures. So I did play like I didn't say it was my story, right? And I didn't use the numbers. I just wrote 6 figures. That passed better. I was able to make 6 figures my first year, and I had the flexibility and the freedom that I always wanted. I could finally travel and work on my own time while helping more people live healthier lives. Kind of more like mission, right? Now it's my mission to help more health experts start and scale their health coaching businesses so they can work for themselves from anywhere in the world too. I have a very simple 5-step process, right? So introducing mechanism, like real mechanism, to help you master the basics of starting an online coaching business and growing it to 6 figures, right? If you want to know exactly how it works, all you need to do is click the link below. On the next page, you'll watch a short training that outlines exactly what I did so you can do it too. So click the link below and watch the training today. And then it just says how to start an online health coaching program. And the video is pretty much the same copy. Yeah, I think it's the same copy. Is that helpful to see? Yeah.
So is that the formula? It's copy to a VSL and then to the training. Like, why didn't you just do that as a video speaking to the camera?
It is. It is a video. So still, this one is too.
Oh, it's the same ad. Got it.
The hook's a little different for it, but it's still like it's still the same. So like it kind of goes over. I started as a cash based. I didn't want to work with people in person anymore. So it's the same thing, but it's a little packaged a little bit differently, right? But it's still the same story.
I didn't realize there was a video of it as well.
Oh yeah. So I had them both together. This one's a little bit longer. This is like a little bit longer of a video, but then it drives them to the training. But I have tested it. I've tested this with photos too, and just having like just this and photos. But for this one, the video plus the text does well.
Is what you say in the video in the script?
Pretty much, it's a little different. It's a little different. You can watch it. It's probably, it's a minute and a half, so it's a little bit longer. The hook's different. I tested like 4 or 5 different hooks, and this one worked the best.
Okay. So you're doing the script first, and then you use it to record the video.
I think I did it the other way around, but they're about the same. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I did the video script first, and then I turned that into the caption, the copy. But then I made it, look pretty. It's all spaced out, right? So I feel like I talk about that too, just like writing. Like, notice how everything's like one line, 2 lines, 1 to 2 lines, and it's a lot of spacing, a lot of like ellipses, 3 dots. So it kind of just like helps them keep going. And then I even finish, I even finish a lot of my sentences without a period, unless I finish on a strong point. It was not what it's going to be. Boom. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of different. I just like stuff like this. Yeah, I do that a lot. Okay, questions on that? I'm going to show some more examples. Go.
Yeah, is there any recommendation for video length there?
For the what? The video link?
Yeah, length.
Length?
How long?
Test all different types. So what I'll notice is sometimes with the shorter ones, you'll get more clicks, and you might even get more leads, but that doesn't mean you'll get more sales. Yeah. So if you start tracking, like you can start to track like where the people came from, a lot of times like your lead costs might be higher for a longer video, but they have more buy-in. So then they're more likely to buy. Because like at the end of the day, all we're really looking for is like, how much money did I spend and how many people bought? So Like I've had some of my like Twitter, like super simple Twitter ads, or even like you guys seen like the note ads, like where they just look like a screenshot of the Notes app. Tried that. We were getting like $6 leads. I was like, holy cow, this is awesome. None of them book calls. So I was like, oh man, maybe they need a video to like see my face, hear my story to buy. So lead cost matters, but what matters most is how much is like your cost per client. So to answer your question, test them all. And yeah, but I'd say typically around 60 seconds is good. Mine's a little bit longer, but I typically write them hoping that they're 60 seconds. Sometimes I go over, sometimes they're shorter. Yeah, but try it all for sure. Cool, okay. That's one, we're gonna go to another one, okay, and then we'll come back. This is also gonna be mine, and then we'll jump into another one of, so yeah, similar story. Different video. I think this is a similar hook too.
Did you know that only 9.24% of your followers?
Yeah, different hook, but still same story in the hook, okay? Or still same story that's in here in the copy is going to be in the video, okay? So this one says, here's the number one. This one is the one that gets half the time doesn't get approved. As you can kind of already see, there's money in there. I try not to put the $sign, but sometimes this thing just doesn't go through. So I stopped publishing this because of that. But it goes, here's the number one thing that's preventing 90% of coaches from making 10 to 20K a month. Okay, this one has, like I said, it's kind of iffy. And then it's similar intro again. And I don't know, this one just works for me. I'm just like, hello, my name is Dr. Matt. Like, but it just works because I transition to the story. And this one is talking more to the strategy of like posting and sending cold DMs. So this applies more to the strategy versus like the audience, right? My name is Dr. Matt. When I first started my online coaching business, I did it all backwards. I tried to build an audience first and then sell my coaching program. I posted daily trying to get more followers and clients from my posts, but guess what? It didn't work, right? Yeah. Instead, here's the problem. I wasted hours every day creating content with no results to show. Then I made this one change and it changed everything for me. I'm being very mysterious on purpose, right? I'm trying to create like curiosity here. What was that change that you made, right? I stopped trying to grow my own audience and I started leveraging other people's audiences. And again, this is where this has gotten rejected quite a few times. In 90 days, I went from being stuck under 10K a month to doing 20K a month after doing this strategy, right? So this is kind of like a different mechanism, right? Leveraging the people's audiences is really just like I'm leveraging Mark Zuckerberg's audience by running ads. I'm doing shout outs, which would be like someone else promoting me. So it's just not like I'm trying to build it myself. It's like I'm going to use other people's and pay them to, which is ads. But I just kind of like made it a fancy name where they're like, what is that? How do I do that? And like we'd have people book calls and they'd be like, I want to learn, like on the form, I want to learn how to leverage people's audiences. I was like, cool, they saw this ad, right? Blah, blah, blah. Then 10 months later, I had my first 100K month using the same strategy. If you want to see the exact strategy I use, ... click the link below to access a training that covers how we've been able to sign 10 new clients a month without a big following. And I get a little PS. PS, this strategy works, but it's not a magic pill. Because I also just was like, I don't want people who just want to get rich quick and not put work in, right? This is not a get rich quick scheme. That does not exist. You need, this is another objection we got, because people would see this and be like, I just want to make money without working, or passive income. I'm like, passive income is bullshit. You need at least 10 hours a week to make this work. If you have that, the strategy will help you get clients. To see how the strategy works, click the link below, and I'll see you on the other side. Dr. Matt. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. What's that? You've been hit by this one a lot? Yeah. Probably that. I mean, this video is a different one. Actually, I'm surprised this one's running, because this one, when I was running it, wasn't performing as well. A different one was. It was like, here's the number one mistake, was that the video was the start, which I think is the same copy as the number one thing preventing you. It was like, here's the number one mistake that's keeping coaches from doing blank, right? Those are two of mine. Hope you guys, all right, hush, hush, hush. I'm gonna get you.
That's your call to action.
Shh, shh, shh. Don't click the link below. Yeah, anti-call to action. Don't click the link below. You will get a virus. I'm going to get you. Because everybody getting ideas as they kind of see this. Is this helpful? Right? Like, it doesn't have to be super complicated, complex. Like, think about your story. What did you do that was cool? How do we create some curiosity in the thing? We don't tell them exactly how to do it. I found this strategy. I did this. This helped me, right? I was here. I was struck. Then I started a coaching business. You want to see how I did it with this simple 3 to 5 step process? Just click the link below and watch it over there, right? And then this one's a looking for 5 ad. I'm trying to see if I want to do this one or not. Yeah, let's do this one. I like this one a lot. So this is looking for 5 ad, and then I'll close it here and let people go just like write a little bit. So this one was somebody who, she helped clients, women who had PCOS, and we started off the hook with a statistic, right? Did you know 100 million women in the world have PCOS? And I'm pretty sure that was like, that's an actual statistic. I hope it was. I hope you didn't give me a false information, but I'm pretty sure I wrote this one. Did you know 100 million women in the world have PCOS? And then this is looking for 5, so we put the call to action just above. So it kind of just like plumped it in the middle right there and then went into the story. So hook was a statistic. We had a little call to action here. And then story. I was one of those 100 million women dealing with this too. I was having heavy and irregular cycles and intense painful cramps to the point of getting sick or blacking out. The only solution offered to me was in tablet form. So we don't say like medicine or like drugs or like prescriptions. Like we didn't want to use those words because we didn't want to get like this mixed up with diet pills. So we used like tablet form, right? But I knew that was only to make my hormones even more irregular, right? Which is like what they're thinking, right? And then she kind of positioned herself as the expert here. As a coach / nutrition expert specializing in women, I knew there had to be another answer. I created a training, nutrition, and lifestyle program that took my PCS into account and allowed me to feel better, stronger, and happier instead of lying on the couch in pain. Right? And over the years, I've helped hundreds of women live pain-free with their PCOS naturally. I actually know the few essentials that work. She probably could eliminate that word, that sentence there. It's not really needed. But if you're currently experiencing any of these things, and we probably could make these all red, not green check marks looking at it, but it worked, right? Irregular and missed cycles, weight gain, painful cramping, infertility, excessive body hair, and you want it to stop now, DM me this word. I've got 5 spots available for women who are ready to reduce their PCOS-related symptoms to get stronger, leaner, healthier, and happier in the process. DM me this word. So this one's a more direct call to action. It's not like, this is going to be applying to that, like, again, if we look at the pie charts, like kind of the bottom, and this is like, DM me, and then we're going to get on a call. So this one's not like selling the mechanism. And this one did well as far as like booking calls, but because she didn't have a mechanism, she had a hard time closing on the calls because it was like a unique offer, but they didn't understand. Show up rate was lower. She didn't have the free training. I think if she did, she would have done a lot better with it. Right.
She didn't have the mechanism in the program, or she didn't have the mechanism in the copy?
Almost in like a video, like a free training. So even if you guys are using the I'm looking for 5 ads, like I would still send them a free training that walks through how you do what you do. It's different, like mechanism. It could be USP, but just different than what everyone else is telling you we're doing, so that you can separate yourself from everybody else. You can charge premium prices and stuff like that.
How long would the free training video be?
Yeah. It can be anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes typically.
Okay.
Like, yeah, 10 to 30 minutes. Like we're finding that our like longer ones are doing better.
Really?
You would think not, but they're more indoctrinated because they spent more time with you. So, I'm currently still split testing like one that's 15 minutes. It's got more cuts, more zooms and stuff like that versus like the 30-minute one. And right now the 30 minutes still outperforming, but it's still early on.
Could this be something that I could use for embodied fitness?
I think it would work better for the online stuff. I think for like digital brick and mortars, you can still like have a proprietary process, but I think a lot of people are still when they're coming to an in-person place, you're going to do more solution-driven marketing. So like you're gonna be having smaller pieces of the pie, but your consult, like your call to action, your offer would probably be better. Like come in for a discounted session, or come in for like if we talked about an evaluation, like at a lower ticket, that works better. So even for like PTs, that works pretty well. Of like coming in for free, what did we said $49, or like anywhere from $49 to $99 assessment. But you don't have to put the price on there. You'd be like, if you want to come in for an assessment, just DM me this word and I'll tell you more details. And then you can send them like the details and a video. Like, hey, what's going on? Thanks for reaching out. So here's what we do with our assessment. Or you could just like, hey, you want to hop on a quick call? We can talk about what the assessment looks like. But typically brick and mortars do better with selling the first step, which is like the evaluation or assessment. So then like your ads would still be like, hook, here's the problem. You want this result. Here's what most people deal with. The reason for that is they don't have an assessment that's customized to them. If you want an assessment, we're offering 5 assessments this week only for 50% off. They're typically $100. They're $49. If you want that assessment, click the link below and DM me this word to learn more. Brick and mortar, those typically work a little better. I've tested a video sales letter for like PT clinic, and it did okay. I think I didn't know what the heck I was doing. It was the first one I ever made, and I was saying it was on knee pain for runners. But we did get a sale from it, and we had at least 2 or 3 evals. So it can work, but just play around with it. Yeah, test different offers. Offer just being like, your offer is like your call to action, but yeah. Is that helpful to kind of see like kind of the frameworks of how it all kind of like flows, and it can be really simple? Yeah.
If you do have a free training recorded and you're going to do I'm looking for 5 ads, can you do the same language you had in your other? Like, I have a 4-step process that walks through this. If you'd like to see a free training of it, DM me this word.
Yeah, if you're going to do the looking for 5 and you want to send it to a free training, it'd be like, hey, I'm looking for 5 physical therapists who are tired of blank, blank, and blank and want more freedom. DM me the word freedom for more, or you could have in the copy, instead of DM with the freedom, it could be like, read the caption below for more details. So like I've tried both of those. And then the captions, it could be like, hey, my name's Zach. Here's what I've done. I developed a really unique 3 to 5 step process, and I'm currently looking for 5 PTs to test it with. If you want more information about it, just DM me this word below, and I'll shoot you over a short video training that covers it in full detail. So hopefully those people that reach out to you are more have higher intent of they're looking for the solution, and they know that they're going to get a video that's going to send them, like give them information about it, and then you'll follow up and book them. So you can try that. All right, you guys want to spend some time writing and practicing this? We're going to go over this ad here. We'll go through it as much as we can. We can probably like workshop it later too, but I'm going to read through it the first time. All right, when I think about getting married, right? When I think about getting married, I couldn't be more excited to celebrate. But it hasn't always been this way. Not too long ago, I wouldn't be excited about an upcoming wedding. Picturing myself in a dress or photos would have made me so anxious and insecure. Great. In fact, I would have binged on spoonfuls of peanut butter to cope with that anxiety. Good imagery. And then be kept up at night, plaguing by guilt for eating it. I didn't feel like myself, and it was a miserable cycle. I put on 20 pounds of stress, negative self-talk, and overeating. I avoided mirrors and constantly hid in baggy clothes. I didn't like my life, and although I was in a lot of pain, I decided to remain silent. It got so bad that I couldn't stand it anymore. I knew things needed to change, and I was the only one who could make it happen. After years of trial and error, I finally figured out how to become confident, strong, and love myself and my body. I feel like myself again. Ooh, that's good. I feel like that's a strong statement there. Through that journey, I created a 4-step process that has helped me finally feel like myself again. 1, 2, 3, 4. It kind of walks through your 4-step process. As a coach, I have experience helping not only myself, but dozens of brides to be. So this is Grammarly. You guys can already see it. It's going to say you should write it this way instead. It's really cool. Okay. Dozens of brides to be to reach that level of confidence so they can show up as the best versions of themselves on their wedding day. DM me the words free training, and I'll share with you the exact process that I use with my brides to get them to oh, that's good. That's so good. Looking and feeling radiant. I'll say that my favorite part of this was the vulnerability that you threw in. Like, I really liked the imagery of, like, you know, picturing myself in my wedding dress, and my photos would have made me so anxious and insecure. In fact, I probably would have binged spoonfuls of peanut butter to cope with that anxiety. But we kept up all night, blah, blah, blah. Like this line right here, I was like, fire, right? Like I can clearly picture it. I can relate to it. And I'm sure that your ideal client could too. And maybe that's ice cream, but for you it's peanut butter. Like, I like that.
Yeah, props to Courtney. She really helped me with this. And this is a current ad that I'm running.
Oh, sweet.
But I changed it for the free training because I'm doing a looking for 5 currently, but I imagine that I'll have to reiterate.
Yeah. I like that. There's some things that I think we could strengthen up a little bit. I also really liked, you know, feel like myself again, because that's a big thing for any of us, like, here who works with, like, fitness, nutrition, or any of that stuff, is like they have this identity of who they used to be, right? Like, whether that was like them in high school, them in college, and then they started, you know, a stressful job, they gain weight. That's such a strong statement, though. Like, I would 100% have that on its own line. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so strong. Like, I want someone to read that and be like, you know, I finally feel like myself again. And, like, you could even bold that or capitalize it. One, like, quick tip I'll teach you, or just show you guys. There's like you saw in, like, mine, and there was this section there. It was like, I started leveraging other people's audiences, and I wanted it to be, like, bold and stand out. There's like this is called just bold text generator. So you can, like, copy a line, and this will still go to Facebook, and I can just, like, pull a bold statement if I want to, like, really emphasize something, and then I can post that into Facebook ads. But I can't do that inside Facebook ads, right? Like, I can't do that. And this also applies to Instagram too. So if you ever want to, like, really emphasize a point in a line, you can just, like, use something like that.
Sorry, can you show the website again?
Yeah, it's just called Bold Text Generator. There's probably other sites. This is just what I use. So you can just use, like, different versions of it to help you, like, emphasize lines. So I use it for, yeah, some of my ads.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd say the biggest opportunity is that your lead and your hook, you led with a story versus, like, the problem and pain. So, like, I think this is good, but it's still missing a hook. Like, when I used to think about getting married, I couldn't be more excited to celebrate. I think there's still it's not pulling me in. It's like you're leading. It's not leading with a hook. Like, that could be there, but there needs to be something above it that's gonna, like, pull somebody in. And it could even be like it could be something that you did, like, specifically, right? Like, I started. I'm trying to think of, like, tell me more about your story real quick. I can read it. Sure. One sec. No, I'm wondering what we could. I'm seeing if I can try to help you make a hook.
Oh, thanks.
Could you say, like, your excitement quickly turned to anxiety when I started thinking about myself in a dress and photos, whatever?
Yeah. Or even could be like.
Do you feel anxious about?
Yeah, you could have wait, say that again.
Just asking them if they feel anxious about their upcoming, like, how they'll look in their upcoming wedding.
Yeah, it could be like, are you anxious about, like, wearing, like, ooh.
I was so excited for my wedding that there's one thing that makes me anxious, something like that, fitting in my dress. That's for, like, the picture.
Or even just like or even direct, like, I was terrified that I wouldn't fit into my dress on my wedding day. ... Like, you know, something that's like that. It's kind of it's part of the story, but what's that?
She's not married yet, so, like, we can say that.
Sure. Chris is not married. Sure. I see what you're saying, but I think a question would be good. So, like, are you worried about fitting on your wedding dress day when that blah blah blah? Like,
is the excitement about your wedding day overshadowed by anxiety about how you're gonna look?
Boom! There you go. That was good, right? But having a hook, and then typically with ads, one of the parts of the process that I have is, like, I'll do 3 different hooks. So, like, because when you put it into Ads Manager, you can just, like, upload multiple hooks or, like, multiple copy variations. Mm-hmm. So you can give it, like, here's 3 hooks, and it'll find the one that does the best. Yeah, thank you, team. yeah, and Ads Manager. Okay. So then you have you'll figure out which one gets more clicks, and it'll be probably pretty clear.
We did different hooks on this one, but they were looking for 5, so it's like similar, just questions for.
Okay, cool. So that's probably the first one, and then even like in general, I try to avoid like a comma in the middle of the sentence because they're kind of two distinct things. Like it's a better statement to be like like to start off with a sentence with I, because it's kind of like you have like when I think about getting married, I couldn't be more excited to celebrate. Just in general with copy, I try to like avoid that and just have like the thing be like I was so excited to celebrate about getting engaged, or yeah, because not married, but like I was so excited about this. Like keep it simpler versus having that first part of the sentence with comma. I don't know what that's called. I don't know what it's called, but yes, compound sentence. Is that it? I don't know. I was like, not conjunction. What's function? But try to have less commas just in general, like in your copy. Okay. Because you did it again here. Not too long ago, I wouldn't have been this. Like, if we can just have it be more direct and less of that, it's going to feel more like you're talking specifically to them, right? But like this one kind of works. Like, in fact, I would be like, in fact, ... this. Like that's okay. But if it's anything longer than that, like it's just going to kind of distract, because a comma makes somebody pause when they're reading it, and like we want them to keep flowing. We don't want them to pause. We want them to keep flowing and read just like one line after the next. So I think that was the biggest opportunity there was just the hook. I probably would make it more specific. So it'd be like, 6 months ago, I was terrified. Not I wouldn't be excited. What wouldn't be is kind of like the negation, right? So it's like, this like 9 months ago, totally different story. ... I was terrified, right? Like you just be more direct with it. Does that make sense?
Could the hook be, do you know why most brides are anxious about their wedding? Like a question like this, the hook?
I still want it to be around like they could be anxious about the wedding for a lot of reasons. Like is this the right dude for me? Like we still want the problem to be more around the thing.
Do you know the number one reason why brides are anxious about their wedding?
I think I still need to have something about, there still needs to be something in the hook that could be around like the way they look, or like the wedding dress, or like you could do that, but there's still going to be a lot of other things. It could be, they could be anxious because their family's coming and they're like, my family's crazy, like, So I'd still try to have it be more around the problem of that problem being in the hook, right? And then when we got to the story, like all these were good, but it didn't really flow. Like I felt like it would have made me so insecure. I would have done all these things, because you kind of went from like, I probably would have, which was like, I probably would have, but then it was like, I didn't feel like myself. Like there would have is like looking back, I would have done this. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't really like, the verbs didn't match. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm like bringing them to different timelines.
Yeah, it kind of feels like when I first read it, the way I read it, it kind of felt like different timelines. It felt like I jumped a timeline. Like I think even not too long ago, I think it would probably fix it if you rewrote it. And like 6 months ago, it was a totally different story. I was terrified. 6 months ago, I was terrified. Yeah. 6 months ago, I was exactly. 6 months ago, I was binging a spoonful of peanut butter, just thinking about the situation, right? I didn't feel like myself. I actually put on 20 pounds from stress, negative self-talk, and overeating. That's a lot better. Do you kind of see? Do you see that too? Yeah. It got so bad I couldn't stand it anymore. Okay, and then after years of trial and error, so this again, if we say this was 6 months ago, we then would want to change kind of transition of like what happened in 6 months instead of after years of trial and error. It's like, just as I thought, like, man, I might need to buy like a bigger wedding dress or something. Like, what was the thing that happened that allowed you to refocus and like get the result, the aha moment? Yeah, what was the thing? And then after doing the thing, I finally felt like myself again, and then I would probably add just a little bit more objective stuff what happened there. So it's like, I found this thing, I did this thing, and in X number of weeks or months, I finally felt like myself again. And then all these like negative things up here, if I put on stress, I did all these things, I avoided this, then I would put underneath like, you know, the opposites of all those things, right? So it's like if you put on all this weight, you know, like I got back into great shape again, or I got, like you probably wouldn't say I got back into whatever, but you could like I could fit into my wedding dress again. I felt more confident, you know, essentially all the opposites. Like I avoided mirrors, you know, I could fit in tight clothing, right? Because we want to like show the negative and then show the positive. You know, I didn't like my life. I love my life. You know, like just make it a little bit more descriptive of like what did you do differently in your life. To kind of play like before and after in the copy. Does that make sense?
Showcase the contrast.
Where's Courtney? Courtney, makes sense? Yeah, so like it could be like through that journey or from that, I created a simple and I distilled all the stuff that I did into a really simple 4-step process, right? That really helped me achieve this result. And then we don't want to tell them the 4-step process right there. And you might, I don't know if there's just bullets, but I would remove that because then we want them to go to the training to figure out what the steps are. We don't want to tell them the steps at all. Okay. So it creates that curiosity of being like, well, what are the steps? What did she do to get back into incredible shape, do all those things, etc. And then here, like I would probably remove the word coach. It's just not like going to add too much context. It's just like people don't, it's just like, you know, after using this system, I've already given this system, or I've already used this same 4-step process with X number of women, you know, or with dozens of women, their brides to be, and it's also helped them feel. And I would do like, I would put like simple like 3 benefits. So like help them get into incredible shape, feel this way, and blank. So kind of like that really simple copywriting 3 benefit thing there. And then the final call to action is like, if you are interested in learning what the 4 steps are so that you too can get into incredible shape on your wedding day and feel confident in your dress, DM me this word so that you feel confident to say I do on that wedding day, right? Or DM me I do. I know, I was thinking that too. DM me I do. And I think that'd be good. So I think the only thing that I feel like we didn't cover super well is like helping some more with the hook variations. But I feel like we cleaned up a lot of that. Does that feel good? Does everyone else kind of see what we did there? And everyone's copy is gonna be like different, right? So like everyone's gonna get different feedback of like how it would be applied. Yeah, good job. Cool. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Woo!